video 182 is definitely gonna upload late. That's just because, I have like some connectivity issues here. So it's like, videos might not be uploaded on time, at least not whilst I'm home. Um, and, usually videos that get posted late, they don't get as much engagement or as much like, watch or, they don't perform as well as like videos that are, of course, posted on time. And that's kind of a bit, I guess, disheartening, especially usually it's only really disheartening if the video that was being uploaded was something that where when I spoke, I feel like it was something of substance. So, if you're seeing this video before video 182, definitely go check out 182. I feel like I really did put a good amount of just my own my own I don't know, view of things, definitely. I was talking more about the book 1984 that I just recently finished, and, my thoughts and interpretations of certain things or how I relate certain lines to things that are going on right now or things that I kind of personally relate to. All right, so this workout, 50 pull ups and 100 diamond push ups. The pull ups were neutral grip. As you can see, I'm using the Swiss bars there, and I did diamonds because I just kind of wanted to work my triceps a bit. And at the end of this, I did 10 down knee raises on the parallel bars. Um, Past couple of days, I've been doing like these high rep type style workouts. They're very simple to do, easy to keep track of. All I'm doing is like 10 sets, right? And I'm kind of aiming for a specific number, and that number is like, it would be like 50 and 100 or 50 and 50, or, whatever the case may be. Pull-ups, I know on average, I can do about good 5 pull-ups without degrading my form or approaching failure. I mean, I know I can do way more than 5, but 5 is like a kind of like a number that won't allow me to fatigue myself. Same thing with 10 when it comes to push-ups. And then 5, would be the same thing when it comes to dips and a bunch of other like, push-up variations such as like a pike push-up specifically. And, at the end, I'll do like 100 squats or this time I'll work my core. My legs are kind of getting like a bit tired, at least like in the hips. So I'm just kind of giving them like a bit of like, I guess, a rest day, you could say, when it comes to just me doing the 100, the 100 squats usually. I'll probably pick them back up tomorrow, but I was like, okay, since I'm not going to be working my legs, let me work something else. And, that's going to be my core. When it comes to this kind of like regimen per se, this routine, I do want to still like try and introduce certain other stuff, like, see if I can use fat grips with this, or see if I can try and start doing L-sit chin-ups or L-sit pull-ups, and see if like, I can do 5 without like, being gassed or pushing myself too far. Another thing too is I'm not trying to like do this under a certain time. I'm doing this specifically to just do them, I'm just like, I'm going to get to 50 or I'm going to get to 100 reps of, whatever movement that I'm trying to go for. And I'm not over here trying to be like, make sure I do as many sets as possible within 15 minutes or something like that. If it takes me 20 minutes, it takes me 20 minutes. If it takes me 30 minutes, it takes me 30 minutes. If it takes me more than that, then it takes me more than that. And kind of like, at the same time, what I like to do is put on a stopwatch, whether that be on my phone or on my iPad. I try to put on a stopwatch. I don't put on a stopwatch all the time. But when I do, it does make me a lot more conscious of the time that I'm spending exercising. And it kind of does help me kind of like gain more energy, because it's like, okay, let me hurry up. Let me get through this. Let me be, kind of like quick and concise about it. Another thing I do, like, you're going to see me in between each set is like, I'm going to be walking to and from the, the left side of the screen. to the wall to where I'm like just jotting down tally marks, right, for each set that I complete, right? So every time I do 5 pull-ups and then 10 push-ups, that's one set completed, and then I go all the way until I have 10 tally marks, and that's just easy for me to track without accidentally like forgetting one or messing up one or doing one extra or anything like that. It's gonna help me keep track very easily. If you're gonna do something like 10 sets, stuff like that, 10 sets of 10, whatever the case may be, you definitely wanna make sure that you're tracking it, because 10 sets, that's a lot, right? It's easier to keep track of like 2 sets, 3 sets, all the way up to like 5 sets, right? But like 10 sets, you can keep track. I mean, it's not like you might lose track, but it's like if you're like taking proper rest times in between sets, like you might lose track. You might forget that, like, you still had 2 more sets left, or that you had 1 more set, or that you had already been finished it and now you're doing like extra work. So definitely make sure you keep track of that stuff, and you can kind of see in real time, like, oh wow, I'm already 5 sets in. Okay, I'm halfway in. I'm almost done with this thing. It's very encouraging to kind of see like the number go up when you're writing it down. And it's like wow, it doesn't even feel that crazy, and I just did these 2 sets, I just did these 5 sets, and I only got this much left. Wow, I can keep doing this, stuff like that. So it's very encouraging to see how your literal progress being written down over time as you're performing the movements. Kind of just like boost you with more energy, and you're more pumped to complete the workout, because it's like, well, it didn't feel like it was that much before, and now that I'm getting into it, it still doesn't feel like that much, and like, it's a challenge for sure, but it's gonna keep pushing you, because again, like, you're seeing like the number go up, right, and you're reaching that number. And doing this myself, so it's just like it's made me realize, like, it's not that hard for me to like do high reps at all. I may not be doing like high reps all together. I might not be doing 50 pull-ups or 50 dips in a row, or even 20 dips in a row, like, and then trying to get to 50 from there. But like by spacing things out, by taking proper rest times, by tracking things down, by knowing what you're capable of doing without, like, overexerting yourself, you can easily work up to like a daily rep count of like 50 pull-ups, or a daily rep count of 100 push-ups, or whatever body weight compound movement variation that you're trying to do. Very, very easily, right? Whether you spread it throughout your entire day or just throughout the training session. And if you have good work capacity, like, if you do cardio, if you're very good with your cardio, and your cardiovascular system, whatever the case may be, you're gonna have really good work capacity in order to just complete these movements without much of a struggle. And especially if like me, try and work out daily, and you do relatively the same movement patterns every day, like, literally like how I do, it's going to be very beneficial to, be able to do what it is that I'm doing, right? I can see, I'm looking at my rep quality, I'm not having like the most strictest, slowest form reps. I'm not kipping, I'm not cheating my reps. I'm doing things, knowing that I'm doing like the right movements, and doing them in the right way, and sufficient enough range of motion. That way I can still gain from these movements. But it's like, you over time, I can probably work up to doing like more slow and controlled movements. So that way it's like I can do like 50 clean pull-ups, 100 clean push-ups over time. And I can just work up to that, and like, again, further build up that work capacity, and just completely just have like blood pumping to my muscles too, right? One thing I realized, like, too, is like, whenever I go back to like the daily full body training specifically, my muscles kind of keep like this pump in them, all throughout the day. And it's like I just look bigger, although I didn't gain any weight, or at least I didn't gain a significant amount of weight. But it's just I look bigger because the muscles are just, filling up a lot more throughout the skin. And that's very interesting because now your body's getting used to those movement patterns, and that's like literally the result. The result is you getting bigger. The result is your body staying bigger because it's so used to doing these movements day in and day out. So it's like, okay, let me keep blood circulating. Which is very interesting, right? And you can jump right into these movements. An example would be dips, right? I have to kind of get back used to doing dips, to be honest. But with dips, it's like your shoulder, that shoulder pain or that shoulder tweakiness, it goes away the more often you do dips. And if you do dips daily, not going to failure, you're working within, your range that you can work with, without like, going to failure or fatiguing yourself. You can, easily work up to probably doing 100 dips a day, right? And that's kind of what I want to work up to, at least with my pull-ups and my dips as well, by being able to do like, clean sets of 10. But I'm not at that level yet. I'd say I'm still like a newbie, a novice per se. But I'm definitely making progress. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. See you guys in the next one. Peace out, and check out 182. I really like that video.